Alright, so in this tutorial I'm going to show you how to make the Silent Princess from The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. And the needed materials would be a white flower, and the one in the game has 5 petals, so try to find one with 5 petals, but if you can't, that's fine. And you'll need light blue, dark blue, and white fabric paint and wire cutters if the flowers are connected. And these are some of the optional materials if you decide to add on the part that I'll show later on in the video. Today I wanted to make a quick video on how to make the Silent Princess from The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. And the main things I'm going to be using are these flowers. Now these I found at Walmart. These were $2 each. And this one has five and just the one thing, but you can cut that off. And I got this at the Dollar Tree, so this was a really good find. I just thought these were beautiful, and I really want to turn them into the Silent Princess from Breath of the Wild. Let me turn this light on quick. And I'm going to be using this to put the blue on them, and any other tools that I use or any other materials that I use throughout the process, I will definitely note what I used, just so that you know what I used in case you want to make it. So I will put everything that I used in the video so you know what you need if you decide you want to follow along with this. One more thing I wanted to note about the paint. This right here, you can see it says it's puffy paint, but we're not going to be using it like a puffy paint. We're going to be flattening it down because we don't want it to be puffy on it. We want it to be nice and smooth. So I just thought I'd mention that. And this, I think this was 96 cents. You can really use any blue paint that you find in the right color, any fabric paint. You could probably use regular paint or an airbrush as well, but for the sake of this tutorial, I'm going to be using this. So, without further ado, let me show you how to make the Silent Princess flower. Alright, to begin, I would suggest painting the entire thing with a white fabric paint because it'll make the blue lay nicer. I eventually pull out white in this tutorial, but I really would suggest doing that first. And then you'll just want to use the blue, the light blue, to paint on the blue parts of the flower, and you'll just want to watch the shape so that it follows the shape that it is in the game. Right here you'll see that I've begun to paint the back. That is because if I didn't do this it would look pretty patchy, and I don't want it to look patchy, so it's good to paint the back because it will seep through, the paint will seep through a little bit, but it's good to paint the back to just keep it smooth. And now we've skipped to where I pull out the darker paint so I can add some of the shading in. And by no means do you have to have this brand. This is just what I had on hand at the time. So any dark blue paint will do. Alright, so here's where I pull out the white paint, but like I mentioned, I highly suggest you do this before you paint the blue on. It'll just make the blue stand out better, and it's just a much better idea than to do this after. Now initially I wasn't even going to paint this white, but then I decided when I messed up a few blue parts that I just wanted to go over it with some white, and I realized how much the white popped compared to the white that the fabric was for the flower that I bought. So I decided to go over the whole thing with it, and it actually made it much more opaque, and it was just it was a good idea. So I highly suggest doing that. But like I mentioned before, do it before you put the blue on. Alright, and if you want to let your flower like that, go ahead, and there you go with that part. But if you want to add more drama, just watch the next part, and I'll tell you how to do that. Now this next part would be where the optional materials come in, so you can refer back to the beginning of the video to get what those are. So we're going to be making these pieces here. The ones that came on the flower just didn't stand out enough, and I really wanted to make it look like the ones in the game, so I got out some Sculpey, and I just started molding it around the parts that were there on the flower already. And I could kind of poke in the clay a little bit, and since this was oven baked clay, I just kept a little hole in it where I could just insert it onto the flower pieces that were there already once it was done baking. Alright, this is the yellow piece, and this is the teal pieces. And the color that I used for the teal pieces was the one on the far right here, which I believe was sage green, because I wanted that look a little more, but teal is perfectly fine to use too. And I would suggest adding a little bit of orange to the yellow part. Oh yeah, and if I forgot to mention, I'm putting these on with super glue. And here they are super glued onto the pieces after inserting them on. And right here there were more flowers in the little bouquet that I got from the Dollar Tree, so I added another one of the leaves from one of the other ones onto this because the Silent Princess has more leaves on it. So I just slipped it on there. And that concludes how to make this Silent Princess flower. I really hope this helps you and that you can make one yourself and that you just have a great time doing it. Good luck!